And we're talking about canines when we say this. There is 3 aspects to trapping a canine. And in what I'm saying, I lean more to coyotes than I do fox. But a lot of it is applicable to both. But there is three parts to setting up a catch of a coyote or fox. One is set construction, one is set location, and one is attraction. And what we're talking about today is the attraction aspect of it. Canines and cats are probably the most responsive animals that you can deal with in trapping. They have pretty complicated systems to where they have a lot of brain power. And in correctly using attractions, we take advantage of that intelligence. So when we're looking at possible animal responses, we have 4 areas to work in. One is territorial. All canines, to some extent or some degree, depending on the time of year, have their own territory. And they respond to any strange animal that's in that territory, especially of their own species. They also respond very well to food odors, food ingredients. And then the largest one of all probably is curiosity. And curiosity is broken into about 3 different parts. One, the animal is curious because he has never smelled this odor before. I call that a what is it curiosity, what is it response. There's also an aggressive response. If the curiosity odors are such that it's something that the coyote or whatever animal doesn't like. For instance, coyotes have a hatred for alligators. And it doesn't matter whether you're in Mexico or Canada, that's part of a coyote. So they respond to the odor of an alligator aggressively. There are also ingredients that make a coyote respond socially. That is, he likes what he's picking up on and he wants to check it out further. There is also ingredients that are recreational to coyote or fox. Some real bad fish oil. Sometimes skunk essence that's on its way to being not so fresh. They like to roll on it. They like to get it on them. They might like to lick it. They don't necessarily want to eat it, but like putting mustard on a hamburger, things like that. So you've got a lot of areas to work with for these animals. And they're not always easy to catch. So it's a good thing we have a lot of avenues to approach with. But there's also a type of set construction that goes along with the type of attraction. And the way I approach that, when I'm getting ready to make a set, and I don't stand around and ponder this and take any time to do it. But while I'm grabbing my bag and my trap and my stake, I'm deciding why this animal is at this location. And before I get to the spot I'm going to put my trap, I've decided why he's there and what type of set I'm going to use and what kind of an attraction that goes along with that set. So, let's assume that I find a pretty well-beaten area of sign. There's kickbacks. There may be a dropping or two here and there. Obviously, urine scent posts were made. Well, this is either a territorial boundary or a main travel way, well used. The reason he's on that line of travel is he's headed someplace. He's probably checking out his boundaries and so on. A flat set with a territorial attraction is by far the tool of choice in a situation like that. And what I mean by territorial is a gland lure or a gland-based lure. The glands being of the animal that we're going to trap. If we're after coyotes, we use a coyote gland lure or coyote gland-based lure. Any ingredients that are added to a gland lure should be of the kind that will cause a urination response in the animal you're after. We don't want anything in there that will cause a food response or an off-the-wall curiosity. We want every message we send him to be the same one. Consequently, you make a flat set, apply a coyote gland lure, coyote urine, and you blend that off like nothing has ever happened there. You can make a kickback to accompany that set if you choose. And it's nice to have a dropping or two to put on the backing, if it's available. But if you run out of droppings or haven't had any of this and that, don't hesitate to do it anyway. But the territorial attraction, in other words, a gland lure, is essential for this situation. He's coming down that trail. He's all ready to respond territorially because he's been here before and he's marked posts, he's made kickbacks, he's done everything. He is a lot easier to catch because you don't have to change his mind. Consequently, that's the tool of choice. If you have good sign, and I rarely just make one set. I practically always make two or more. If I make two flat sets and I feel the need for a third set, I may change this situation entirely. I may make something that has a